The Isaiah Factor Uncensored starts right now.
And welcome to The Factor Uncensored. This is something you likely deal with if you're a parent in this day and age. When is it okay to post your child on social media? If you're an old school parent, you'll likely say, when the hell I want to. If you're a new school parent, then you may say, I always check with my kid and get their permission before I post online. That's a thing now. If you should get your child's approval before exposing them to the real world on social media. Our guests are here to talk about it in this 2023 issue. Parents Rashonda Tate, Lauren Simmons Mitchell, Lewis Hunter, and Demetrius Walker. Glad to have you all here on The Factor Uncensored. So, Rashonda, we know you don't mess around as a parent. We know what you did back in the past. For the viewers who don't know, what did you do with your child when she misbehaved?
Yeah, so I'm one of the early on posted my child on social media because she misbehaved, and it was the social media shaming, if you will, before that was a thing. My child was 12 years old at the time. She's 23 now. And so I'm of the mindset, when you know better, you do better. I wouldn't do it now. I'm not asking for permission. I'm still old school in that regard. But yeah, things have changed.
But you raised a wonderful young woman now, and she is successful and doing well. So, Lauren, what would you do with your child if, you know, I mean, not as far as punishment or discipline, but putting them on social media, just posting their picture? Would you check with them first, or?
So, as a practice, I do check with my children first. And it's very funny because I had the conversation. I have a 15-year-old son. That's my oldest child. And he's just, you know, a shy, really shy, sweet kid. And so I remember when he was younger, you know, I was a young mom. I was proud of all of his great accomplishments. And I was just posting him. And I just had a revelation one day. I was like, I haven't checked in with this kid at all. Like, does he want to be on my Facebook? Does he want strangers knowing him? Am I posting him when he's making straight A's because I want some type of, you know, I guess recognition or something from that? And so I just think it's, you know, teaching about consent, teaching about having agency, and really just valuing my children as human beings and just asking them, say, hey, can I post this picture?
That was a good question you asked yourself. And what was the answer? Why were you posting that? Was that about you or was that about them?
And so in the moment, I'm very proud of my child and I want to share that with the world. But a little bit of it was, yeah, I kind of want to brag a little bit. And you know, if I'm not posting him brushing his teeth or doing the mundane, everyday things, then I shouldn't, you know, only want to post when he's making straight A's or he's the #1 student in class. Like, yeah, I'm proud of that. He's doing a great job, but I want him to feel valued in every aspect of his life. If he was making all D's, that's still my baby.
Straight D's. We still love him.
Still gonna love my baby. That's still my baby.
All right, Lewis, let's hear from you.
I'm not asking my child for permission to post anything about my children. You know, I don't agree with posting punishments. You know, I think that can be real demeaning to anybody. But if I can whoop their ass, I'm not asking that. Yeah, I'm just not doing it. If I want to post something, if they do something good, I think it's good for parents to brag on their children because, you know, you uplift your children, and in a way you kind of uplift yourself too because you did a good thing. You know,
that's your work.
That's what that's exactly. You know, and I think you should be proud of that. So, but as far as getting permission, plus the social media platforms for older people are different than that of younger people. You know, from what I've seen. I mean, they mix in the middle some, but I think people call Facebook an old thing. You know, youngsters on Facebook. Right?
Well, Instagram is now old.
Yeah.
I don't know what
it is. Yeah.
I was gonna say I'm young, but I'm not. I got
right.
Well, patch of gray hair right here.
And Demetrius Walker, what about you?
So I actually do ask my son for permission now. Because,
how does that look, though?
Yeah. Well,
tell me how that looks.
I'll tell you what happened. When he was about 8 or 9 years old, I was posting away, and he was like, Dad, what are you doing? You know, so now posting on social media, it's like being in the streets, right? So, you know, kids used to be ashamed to walk with their parents in the mall, hold their parents' hand in the mall. They'd be embarrassed by it. Now social media is the same thing. You're putting them in public in front of an audience that they may not want to be in front of. And so now before I post something, I'll say, hey, how does this look? You like that? And I'll ask before I post it. If he doesn't like it, I won't post it.
How often does he say no?
Pretty often, actually. Yeah, pretty often.
But I think that would also be like akin to asking your child for, you know, how does he feel about going to church? You know, we didn't have those choices. That was the social media of my day. You know, but to bring your child into a public sphere, you know what I mean? I think it could be argued the same way. I'm not asking my child to take them anywhere, and unless it's something disrespectful or demeaning. I'm not asking my child if they want to be posted on social media. You know,
That's why I don't go to church today, because nobody asked me, and when I got to the point where I can make my own decisions, no, I'm joking. But I really do think that as a parent, it's not my job to dominate and control my child. What I'm trying to do with my children is raise productive people. And so for my son and my daughter, I want them to be able to be good people in understanding what consent is. And I can't talk to them about consent if I'm not practicing consent with them. So it's, you know, you can call it permissive parenting, but I really want my children to be able to go in the world and not harm others, but also not allow people to harm them. And even asking them as their parent, there is a power imbalance. I'm still their mother. Children want to please their parents. So even with that, I have to establish trust with them so they can feel comfortable saying, you know what, Mom, I don't need that on Facebook today.
I'm still do as I say, not as I do, old school parent. This is foreign to me.
I
had old school parents, and let me tell you, I was a mom at 19. I was doing some things, and let me tell you, I was very smart.
Old school doesn't work?
So I don't want to say old school doesn't work. I think my parents parented with the tools that they had.
Bad as hell.
So I wasn't. You know what? I'm gonna say this. I'm an activist. My birthday is October 6th. I was born on the same day as Fannie Lou Hamer. I came to this world a rebel, and I was gonna challenge and push and break generational curses.
I was the dad that said.
But maybe you had to go through your
a lot
in order to be a good parent today.
Yeah. And I tell people all the time, my parents were very strict. They were in my business, and I got very good at telling stories and being very sneaky and being where I wasn't supposed to be. And I cringe when I think about some of the dangerous things that I did today. I got away with it. My mom died in 2015, so she probably got a whole lot when she was making her way through those gates. Like, wow, my daughter was doing all of that. And as a parent now, I just want that trust with my children so they're not, you know, in some of those places they don't need to be. I don't know where they are.
One thing, Isaiah, though, I really do tell people, because here we are 11 years later, and it is living on for my daughter. So she hates what I did back then, and I do regret that, because she is, to this day, she still gets feedback from friends that Google her and find her, and I don't like that about it.
It's forever. Thank you guys for joining us here on The Factor.